have to wake them up just a little bit more than that. Is that the best? Oh, goodness gracious. You be with it. Hello again, everybody. Lance Russell and Dave Brown right along the ringside. And I do, in fact, like what we've got in store. That's why I say they're going to be awake when they get down to that main event at least.
I think they'll be wide awake. That main event, PG-13, going to be right here. They'll be going against the Eliminators. What a match here for a main event today on USWA Championship Wrestling. A lot of telephone calls this week about Jeff Gaylord. Going to have an update on Jeff and his condition and his situation. Sid Vicious will be here today. He's scheduled right here on TV.
Well, that's the bad news. Now, what's the good news?
Well, I have more bad news, I'm afraid. I think most fans will see it this way. Doug Gilbert, the USWA champion, and now he has won the car of Brian Christopher. Now, Brian's made a challenge to Doug, and we're going to have more information on that. As a matter of fact, when we come back here, we'll have that.
I remember that. Brian jumped in and said, yeah, I'll put the car up, boom, just like that. Well, gone. Hey, we got a bunch of it, going to get into it. We'll be back right at it in just one moment. We were talking a little bit earlier, Dave, just as we came on, about that match that Brian Christopher got himself into with the automobilist.
Yeah, Brian wasn't all that thrilled to put the car on the line. He just wanted the rematch. Doug Gilbert, in that inimitable Doug Gilbert style, refused. And no, you got to put something on the line and all of that. And he insisted and insisted. And finally, Brian did agree to put his car up, and not with good results.
No. Let's take a look and see exactly how that came out.
Up he goes. Look out. Oh, my goodness. Had that bottle of champagne or something in the eyes. Nails him with it. Oh, my goodness. 2, 3. Oh, my goodness. He wins the title, and there he goes.
Standing out here, I think everybody knows, with Randy Hales. Randy, appreciate you coming out, because this situation with Brian Christopher and Doug Gilbert has really escalated up to the point he not only lost the title, he ended up losing his car, as we just had an opportunity to talk about.
Thank you very much, Lance. You know, it's been a rough week for me. Eddie Marlin, today's his birthday today. A couple of months ago, he told me that he was going to take a week off, and it's been a week that
he deserves it.
I wish he would have been here, because I've had problems all week long with Doug Gilbert, Lance. Doug Gilbert absolutely feels he's on top of the world. He won the USWA title, and he won the car of Brian Christopher. As you know, soon as the match happened, Brian Christopher, everybody knows the confidence that he has. He came to me and said, I want a return match immediately. I want the chance to get my vehicle back. Well, I went to Doug Gilbert, and it was cat and mouse all week long. I went to Doug. Doug said, the only way I'll do it is for Brian Christopher to put his hair up. Went to Brian. Went to Brian. He agreed to it. Went back with the contract with Doug. Doug said, no, said it needs to be a tag team match. Brian said, fine, I'll get the Moondog or Jerry Lawler to be my partner, or Jimmy Van. Went back to Brian with or Doug with the contract. He said no. Well, if Doug Gilbert could come out here right now, if we could call Doug Gilbert out, I have a contract that we have, and hopefully he will agree to this today.
Now, this, at Gilbert's insistence, is to be a tag, but with the stipulation about the hair, Randy?
That's exactly right. Here he is right now.
Mr. Hales, it looks to me like you're a little tired. Have you not been sleeping very good this week?
You know very well why I hadn't been sleeping this week, because I've been dealing with you every day. Let me, Doug, if you would look at me, this contract stipulates, just like you asked, that the match will be a tag team match, you and Tommy Rich. The car will be at stake. Brian Christopher's hair will be at stake.
That sounds good, don't it, Lance Russell? Yeah, that's what I agree. But You have to say there is going to be no partners. I'll give you about 50 names, and there's going to be no Jerry Lawler. There's going to be no Jeff Jarrett. There's going to be no Moondog, and there's going to be, I'll give you the list. You know who it's not going to be, right?
That's right. It's on the contract. Jerry Lawler, Jeff Jarrett, Bill Dundee, the Moondogs, Handsome Jimmy Valiant. They're all there, Doug. It also states that nobody that's ever teamed with Brian Christopher before can be in the match.
Well, I mean, who do you want for a partner in there? You're
Hey, now listen. No, I told Randy Hales before. I said, now you can go get T.D. Steele, or you can go get Eddie Givens, or you know, Brian Christopher and Tony Williams. They're pretty good friends, Lance. He could go get Tony.
The new kids.
See, I give you many choices, Randy Hales. Did I or did I not?
Yeah, you gave me a lot of choices. I told Brian Christopher not to sign this contract, but he did.
Oh,
it's
you was
here.
daddy?
So if you would sign this, you can look at it.
Put this down, Lance Russell. Let me look at this before I sign.
Look it over again,
You know Randy Hales is always trying to trick me and con me, just like Eddie Marlin. He's just like him. He's a fool, too. But I'll go ahead and sign this for you, Randy Hales, because I do have everything like I want, and I am on top of the hill, Randy
The
Hales.
hair versus the car. The contract is signed, Lance. I don't want to do any more business out here. Let's ring the bell and
Randy.
Hey, no. Don't cut the USWA champion off. What it is, see, I've done took Brian Christopher's USWA belt. I've got it right here. I'm looking finer than anybody's ever looked. And what else I'm telling you, I'm driving up this morning, a lot of girls started going, woo, woo. I rolled down them dark windows, and what they say, no, it ain't Brian, it's the real thing. It's the USWA heavyweight champion in Brian Christopher's vehicle that he won. And Brian Christopher, you've got such a big ego. You're nothing but 20 years old and wet behind the ears. You will never be me. You can't even lace up my boots. So what I'm saying is it's all coming to an end, Lance Russell.
Yeah, fine. It sounds to me like you're trying to imitate Brian Christopher with the belt, with his car. And
We got everything we want, Lance Russell. I got a hurt neck, but we also got the car. That's what counts. That's
I'm really concerned, Scott. Okay, wrestling time is...
Tommy Rich has arrived,
comes
too,
out.
yeah, to join Doug Gilbert up there. Tommy climbs into the ring, is going to be going against T.D. Steele in a single match here. Doug Gilbert apparently is going to stay over here by the desk. Scott Bowden at ringside. That's a dangerous combination. You got that 3-against-1 situation in the studio. I don't ever like the looks of that. T.D. Steele.
See, there's one of his, that could be one of his partners right there, Lance Russell.
Yeah, this is Brian Christopher's partner, isn't it, huh?
Yeah, you just eliminated any of the major line wrestlers in there. Are you afraid to have some reasonable competition in there, and you want him to have to get somebody who has not been a main eventer?
Lance Russell, dude, I look like I'm afraid. I'm sitting out here in a $1,000 suit, holding a USWA belt, driving around a brand new Blazer that I won. I'm nothing but confident. I am the man to beat. I am that, right, Lance Russell? And I am not scared of nobody.
Top wrist lock. Tommy Rich has it reversed into a hammer by TD as the referee, Kevin Christian, calls for a break. Rich goes over to the ropes, and a good move to get out of that hole by T.D. Steele.
Hey, Lance, can you imagine Brian Christopher bald-headed, all the knots I put on his head? You know how big his ego is, I was talking about earlier. He'll be gone. There will not be no great American hero Brian Christopher around here anymore. They might as well go ahead and look from another big star. Randy Hales and Eddie Marlin better get on that phone and do a lot of dialing, because he's fixing to be out of here, because his bald head will not stay, because he's an ugly fool right now. But with that bald head, Lance Russell, he will be foolish looking, won't he?
Well, I will say that Brian Christopher seems like to me to be the one that's the hero to put his hair up. He's got a lot of confidence, and it may be pretty well placed. Remember, he's won a few of those matches that you have had.
Hey, Lance, you remember Brian Christopher pulled up an old yellow cab this morning when I was driving that brand new $20,000 Blazer. You just remember that, okay? Look right here. What would you call that?
I'd call that a pile driver, which is illegal here, and Tommy Rich puts it on, covers TD Steele, while Scott Bowden ends up distracting the referee, and there it is, Dave.
Boy, I tell you what, you got TD Steele out here giving it a go against Tommy Rich, and he can't even win it fair and square. Got to go to the pile driver, and that's how he wraps it up. Referee didn't see it. Scott Bowden was distracting the referee over here, so the referee didn't see the pile driver.
I was just calling out TD Steele using fists out the match. We came here to wrestle. We didn't come here to fight. We're lovers, not fighters.
The barber shop would have just been open, but see, that boy didn't have any hair. Brian Christopher, I'm sure, let me set my USWA belt down. I'm sure everybody here knows what these are. That's called scissors that cut hair. Brian Christopher, you're gutless. You won't cut. Hey, what's he doing, Lance Russell? This is my time.
Why don't you stop running your mouth, and why don't you get in here with me right now?
He don't talk.
He just did talk to you like that.
He don't talk to me like that.
Come on, Doug, why don't you and me get in here right now?
Hey, you better show some respect to the USA Championship. Last time everybody
Helmet goes down. Christopher rips him with a right hand. Oh, yeah. There's Tommy Rich right up behind him, Dave. Buddy Landell. And then your boy, Buddy Landell, comes in, and guess who decided it's time to leave? Bowden, Gilbert, Tommy Rich. They all decided good time to go as Buddy Landell came rolling into that ring. He jumped him, too.
I tell you what, that evened it up real quick. It was 3 against 2, but somehow it was pretty even there.
I think they decided they had another appointment they had to go to. We're going to take time out and be back. Looks like a fun time ahead.
Well, hey, we're back, ready to go here. We've got action scheduled here in just a moment. In the ring, USWA action.
Yeah, we got tag team action coming up here in just a moment. I want to see if we can get Brian Christopher out here and Buddy Landell, if we can get him out to find out what's cooking. I loved it. They're in there jumping on Brian Christopher, and here comes Buddy Landell. What's brewing here, Brian Christopher?
What's brewing here, Lance, is week after week, these two backstabbers, Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert, continuously come out here and jump me from the behind. But today the roles were reversed, weren't they, boys? Because I've gone out, they wanted me to find a partner. They wanted me to find somebody that I've never teamed with before. It couldn't be Jerry Lawler. It couldn't be handsome Jimmy Valiant. It couldn't be the Moondog. Well, baby, I started thinking. I got on the phone, and I called one of the sneakiest, one of the dirtiest, one of the low-downest people I've ever met in my life. And sure, I've never teamed with him before, Lance, but push has come to shove. And it's time for me to start pushing some people around. Now, Doug Gilbert, you got my belt. And now, you've got my car. But believe me, baby, I'm going to start getting mean. I'm going to start getting nasty. And the first step is right here, bringing in the nature boy, Buddy Landell. Because like I said, he is one of the dirtiest people I've ever met. And this is the kind of guy I need to take care of a couple of punks like you. Tell him, buddy.
And his name is going to squeeze through to cracking that contract so it will pass and he can be your partner, right?
That's right. It looks like everything's backfired on Doug Gilbert, hasn't it? Because I found somebody, sure, he fits in the contract. And like I said, this is a man I need to take care of a couple of punks like you.
Buddy Landell, boy.
You know, Lance,
Yeah, I know.
I know exactly how Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert feel right now because I've been in that situation so many times here in the USWA where I thought that I had the upper hand, and my feelings are kind of hurt a little bit. Out of all the 50 names that Doug Gilbert read off, he forgot about the nature boy. You know? Well, that's fine. Let me go back just a little bit. It's been about 8 months ago. I was tag team partners with the Gilbert brothers, Doug and Eddie, okay? And let me just explain something to you about life with Doug and Eddie and Tommy Rich, okay? First off, they've got this complex that everybody gets up every morning thinking about how they can put the shaft to them. You understand what I'm saying? We're talking about paranoid schizophrenics here. You understand? You understand what I'm saying, Lance?
these guys go up and down the road talking about what they ain't got, how people's putting the shaft to them, and all this other kind of stuff. You know, and it's ironic that Doug Gilbert won his truck from him. You know what? Because that brings back to my memory a situation to where I was embarrassed. I had to ride up and down the road with Doug Gilbert and that old beat-up jalopy that he had. We had to pull over every mile and a half and put a quart of oil in it. And this is what really upsets me. It's the print.
You pay for it.
That's right. He owed me $30. I loaned him $30 to get a fan belt put on his car. In good faith, I gave him the money. Now, Lance, $30 to you, me, or Brian, that ain't nothing, okay? It's a principle of the fact. Let me tell you something, Tommy Rich and Eddie Gilbert. Let me tell you something. Doug, your daddy slapped me in the dressing room years ago because I was a little smart-mouth punk and he put me in my place. I don't know what's going on with the hair match and the car and all that other stuff. The only thing that I know is this. I was at home and got a phone call, and I was asked if I would be Brian Christopher's partner. And I got to say this. I was the USWA tag. I was the champion here months ago, and this man beat me right in the middle of the ring, fair and square. You understand what I'm saying? It's the hell of a man right here. Well, let me tell you something, boys. The same way your daddy slapped me, I'm getting ready to slap you, Doug Gilbert. You understand what I'm saying? Believe. You know my meaning. You know what I stand for, baby. I'm going to take you out.
Tell you one thing about it. He's got that confidence, Mr. Bryan.
But when he says fair and square, that's not how we're going to be playing this game, boys. When my hair's at stake, we're going to do whatever it takes. And we're about to show you a little bit of it right now, baby.
It'll be interesting to see these guys together as a tag team. This will be the very first time, because one of the stipulations for a partner for Brian Christopher is that he be with somebody he has never wrestled with before. So we're seeing a first right here, Dave.
This is someone he's wrestled against, as they just pointed out, but never as a partner. Well, they look pretty good here a few moments ago. Let's see how they do in action, going against the Heartbreak Express in this match.
Kind of interesting that it would be Landell in here, looking one at the past history of being against each other that Christopher and Landell have. And another thing to me is that Brian, with that supreme confidence that he had, look at that drop kick from Landell. Doing it up good. Tag goes to Brian. Brian's great confidence enough to put up one on the car is something else. And two, to put his hair up. And now he is in there with a guy who was the original Mr. Brash, because Landell was the cockiest son of a gun I believe I ever saw a few years ago.
Oh, you're exactly right. He's subdued somewhat now, but still has supreme confidence.
Right there.
Oh, man, look at Christopher. He is just going wild against this Heartbreak Express. Wild one of Heartbreak Express in here. The other one bruised. And Brian Christopher and Buddy Landell both in charge here today. There's no doubt about it. Look at Landell. Upper arm down across the top of the head. Follows with a right hand. Did he have it doubled up? Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. If it was Landell, you could almost book it. Now, that was a straight forearm. Good, legitimate pop. Landell, looking just as bad as he always did, comes over and rips one off the apron while Brian takes care of the man in the middle. And look at Brian Christopher. Right down with a pile driver.
I think that's just proof in case Mr. Rich and Mr. Gilbert are watching a monitor somewhere that Brian Christopher knows how to use a pile driver too. So I hope they go to school on that and remember it. That's the victory for Brian Christopher. Buddy Landell, boy, they look good.
I gotta tell you, that is just about as good a visual lesson as you'll find anywhere as to what Landell and Christopher have in mind when they run up upon Mr. Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert in that ring. Whoa! Oh, here he comes. Yes. Well, you've got a match now. You've signed the contract.
No, Les Russell, no! They cannot do that to me! I'm not going to be tricked! Buddy Landell, he cannot act Buddy Landell. I hate him, and he hates me!
He's on that paper, buddy.
Hey! Les Russell, I'm not gonna wrestle the match.
Don't start out with that
That's
stuff.
it. I just will
You
not
made the deal right out here with Randy Hales and signed it right here on that.
I'm not going to wrestle. Randy Hales can come out here. He can go call old Eddie Marlin. He can come out here. But I'm not wrestling. You cannot trick me.
Oh, here comes the National Guard.
There
What do you
was-
want, Gumby? Get out here, Gumby. We did take the rules around here.
All about.
He's maintaining Landell's name was on the contract that was not included.
It was.
Hey, Doug Gilbert, Buddy Landell's name wasn't on this. It's a signed contract. The match will take place. The cards at stake. It'll be Buddy Landell and Brian.
No, that's the contract right there. That's it. That's the contract.
Right there.
That's the contract.
Oh,
What do you think of
yeah.
that? What do you think of that? You can't have a match without a contract, can you, Lance Russell?
He must think I'm stupid. Doug, you must think I'm stupid because I made a copy of that contract.
No!
The match will take place.
No, it won't.
The match will take place.
Hey, come on now, quit that stuff. You got. Will you get off of it? Come on,
Get
Doug.
out of my way, Lance.
Will you stop this stuff? All right, Scott, quit that.
Let's see about
Come on, guys. We're going to teach Gumby not to mess with us. We did take the rules in the USWA around here, baby.
Let him go, Tommy, and let him get up from there. Doug Gilbert down there with a pair of scissors, cutting the hair of Randy Hales, holding him down. You think that's going to get you out of that contract? No, I don't want to get it either, but he certainly doesn't deserve it. Why don't you save it for the ring?
Hairstyling by Doug Gilbert.
How about that, Lance Russell?
Yeah, fine, great. I hope that makes you feel really big. Can we get some help out here to get this guy good night? Oh, here comes Buddy Landell, Brian Christopher. Look at the hair they cut off, Dave. All over the floor. I think Randy's all right in terms of physically, but boy, they chopped a ton of that hair off right up there. What a that's the kind of stuff right then and there that you just want to get somebody in there like.
I'm guilty of doing the same thing before, man, before I changed my life, man. And I'm telling you something right now, this ain't going to make them no money. It ain't going to do nothing to enhance their career. The only thing it's going to do is cause us to stop and mud hole in them and walk it dry.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. There's a whole lot of folks that would love to see exactly that happen.
You see what I'm talking about, Lance? These are the kind of people you're dealing with. Sure, they'll take advantage because they're mad at myself and Buddy Landell. They'll take advantage of a guy like Randy Hales. Defenseless guy like Randy Hales. Never claimed to be a wrestler, but they'll jump him and come out here and cut his hair off. Well, boys, it's going to be a different story Monday night. This just puts gasoline on the fire because you're not going to shave my head. Sure, you might have cut a little bit of this guy's hair, but you ain't going to do it to me. You understand what I'm saying to you? I'm sick and I'm tired of you. I've had it up to here with you. Somebody like that promised me that we're going to take care of you boys Monday night. And when I say we're going to take care of you, that's what we're going to do. I'd advise you boys not to show up because it's going to be a lot of hell that you're going to have to pay.
Well, I can tell you nobody would deserve it any more than that group. Every one of them to come out here and take Randy Hales down. 2-on-1, you might note that. Even with Randy Hales and take a pair of scissors and cut that hair off. We're going to take time out. We're going to be back in a minute.
Three young men right here. Give us your names.
Michael Brown.
Jay Patterson.
Justin Edmiston.
Okay, and you guys are baseball champions going to be going against King's Army tomorrow in Hornersville. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Baseball champions of
Missouri.
Missouri, the state of Missouri. Wow, state champions. All right. Well, now, Lawler's Army's gone up against some tough teams. I don't think he's ever gone up against state champions before. That could be an interesting game. One more time, give us the particulars. It's going to be at what park and what time?
Duff Ford Field at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, Hornersville, Missouri. All you folks around the Missouri Boot Heel and northeastern Arkansas, make your plans to be right there in Hornersville tomorrow afternoon. Appreciate you guys making the trip down here. Good luck against the King's Army tomorrow, okay? All right. Action coming up Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum. Thanks very much. And Monday night, Jerry's already mentioned some of the action coming up, but this Monday night really shaping up to be a good one at the Coliseum. Huh?
Well, you better believe it is, and we're going to tell you exactly all of it after this little incident right out here. Monday night, 7:30, Coliseum. Going to be a toughie with Doug Basham starting out against Reggie B5. And then we're going to be looking at a return bounty match. This is $2,500 at stake when Coco Beware will settle up a little score with the Spellbinder. You see, they have a particular incentive. And then there's going to be a special challenge tag match. This ought to be worth the price of admission in itself, Dave.
Yes, indeed. You're talking about the Moondogs and the Eliminators, two of the toughest tag teams ever in the USWA. I think I can make that statement without challenge. The Moondogs will be going against the Eliminators, and it is, in fact, a special challenge tag team match. Stand back and watch the action in this one.
Yeah. And we've got tag titles on the line in the next match. PG-13, Wolfie D and JC Ice will be defending against a team that you saw for the first time last week. The Great Mephisto and Dante will be challenging for those USWA tag titles.
And then a special revenge match. And if you were watching last week, you know why he wants revenge. Jeff Gaylord will be going against Spike Huber. As we mentioned earlier in the program, we've had lots of telephone calls and questions from fans this week inquiring about Jeff's condition. We're going to have an update on that for you a little bit later on. But I think you get some indication of the desire of Jeff Gaylord to get back into action when you see that he is, in fact, booked on the card Monday night to get revenge against Spike Huber, one of the guys who helped hurt him.
And a match that has a little bit more significance to it will be coming up right after that, and that is going to be where the car that Brian Christopher lost to Doug Gilbert will be at stake against Brian Christopher's hair. That's right. And the opponents, Wildfire Tommy Rich, Dangerous Doug Gilbert, facing Brian Christopher and Nature Boy Buddy Landell. That will be a scrap and a half.
So already you got two main event caliber matches right there, maybe even more than that if you take a look at the entire card. But that's not all. Here is the final main event of the night. Yeah, the crowd recognizes the Native American Tatanka, who will be coming in to go against Sid Vicious. Quite a story here. Tatanka, for those of you who don't know, had a very long, a year-long winning streak in the WWF. And quite a wrestler. He's been involved with Lex Luger with the situation, but has the chance for the unified heavyweight title match Monday night against Sid Vicious.
And you know, Dave, I have heard, of course, you can hear a lot of stories around about a lot of different things, and one of them, though, that it's something, there's something personal involved, because Tatanka and Vicious had some problems back when Tatanka first came into the WWF and Vicious was still up there. I don't know exactly what the story was, but he was sure quick when he had the opportunity to jump right on that unified title and get a hold of that Sid Vicious if he could.
And it's your chance to see him right here in Mid-South Coliseum Monday night.
He will be there Monday night. 7:30 is the time, and that's what we're looking for. So, you come on down and get your tickets today. Wait a minute, what is this? Back out again.
What are you guys doing out here?
Coming out here, you got the scissors. What is all of this stuff?
We've seen enough, and put those scissors away.
I got a couple of questions. First off, who was them three big old bean poles that was out here? They was so dumb they didn't know where they was keeping was from. Buddy Landell, you've got 5 seconds to get out of here with us. If you lost your mind, do you know what kind of time Brian Christopher has? Brother, don't forget, I'm the man that taught you everything you know. And don't think I taught you everything I know. Monday night at that Coliseum, we're going to cut all your long pretty hair off too, boy. Dave Brown, I don't trust them where they're at. All they're going to do is try to sneak up and hurt me or try to cut my hair. Well, there's nothing like that going to happen. Brian Christopher, I've got the scissors right here that will do the walking and the cutting this week. Buddy Landell, you've got into something that you should have kept yourself out of, because, Brian Christopher, after I cut your hair, the next morning, I'm going to take that truck and I'm going to sell it. Buddy Landell, you have done something that you'll regret for the rest of your life. And Brian Christopher, like I said, your big ego won't let you stay here bald-headed. So they better get on the phone and do some calling and get a new Mr. America, because Brian Christopher, you are finished.
You know, Brian, ask Randy Hales how foolish he feels with that shaved head, because that's what you're going to look like.
Brian Christopher, we've taken your belt, we've taken your car, and this week we're going to take your hair and your pride. You bring Buddy Landale down here, big suicide blonde, died by his own hands. You think you know all the dirty tricks? You're looking at the Masters right here, and we're going to show you Monday night.
Come out here and talk all you want to. You can cut Randy Hales' hair all you want to, but you got to face Buddy Landale and Brian Christopher. Bring the keys to the car, because Brian Christopher's looking for him. We'll be back here in just a moment.
Well, we got enough problems out here with Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert. I might say it this way. We got enough problems with Sid Vicious. We don't need problems with these guys anymore, particularly when there's fools running around with a pair of scissors in their hand. Cut Randy Hale's hair out there. I still can't get over that.
I can't either, but you're right about Sid Vicious. Sid has been causing problems. Last week, some big problems, but that wasn't the start of it. Kind of got a recap, a videotape here when things are edited together, just to kind of refresh your memory of the problems we're having to put up with this guy.
What in the world? What in the world is going on here? Sid Vicious, that is Sid Vicious, has entered the ring, and man alive, what in the world?
The man that rules the world, he's here, and he's here to stay.
Roland Lawler read up.
Oh, look out!
Vicious with that throttle slam of his, grabs Lawler right by the throat, hammers him down. Davey hit his head on that ring.
Look, I am not going to stand around here and let all you guys make up your own rules as you go along. Jerry Lawler either comes out here right now as scheduled, or I will be declared the new champion.
He's right. It is in the contract. He has to defend the title or he has to forfeit. Referee, the only thing I can tell you to do is raise the man's head and get it.
Boy, what a win. What a win. Jump a guy before, come up, get him where he can't wrestle, and get a forfeit out of it. You really got to be proud. It's going to be a forfeit, Corey. Gaylord going after Spike, but from behind, Sid Vicious hammers him with that double axe handle, and now look at the two of them. Oh, no. Sid setting him up for the power bomb.
Oh.
Pounds him down. Oh, man, I hate that. He's got Gaylord again. Another power bomb in the offense. Spike ready, and he does exactly that.
On the lower back and the neck. Well, they say they've got to do it one more time.
You made us do this, is what Vicious said. Yeah. All they need is some body to where they can take and destroy it. Once again, picking Sid up. Sid picks him up in the air. Spike to get him where he could add more impetus to it, and down goes Gaylord. That's all.
Well, that situation with Jerry, I think, was pretty clear there. In case fans don't know, he injured Jerry just before Jerry was scheduled to defend the unified title against him. So he didn't hurt Jerry in the match. It was beforehand. He hurt him so that he could not come out and defend the belt. No, never had it.
Ended up getting him out of there and ended up getting the title the cheap way.
But the thing that has really, really upset wrestling fans around, I think, is the situation. I know, I've heard from him, is the situation with Jeff Gaylord, in which he picked him up with those power bombs and hit him not with one, with three.
Well, take a look, and if you can imagine the kind of power that goes on when Vicious grabs a hold of you. Spike Huber comes along, as you will see, particularly in the last two, and hammers him down in there. Now he'll lift him up higher in the air so Vicious can put more force to pound him in. They let it go with one. Right in behind it, no, that wasn't enough. Let's do it twice. And believe me, one power bomb from Sid Vicious with or without the help of Spike Huber, is aplenty for most human beings. And Jeff Gaylord being lifted up now by Huber, and he's getting ready to be pounded into that mat.
So he had that neck an extra 2.5, 3 feet higher because of the way Huber picked him up, shoved him up, and then just that much more downward force. Here they go again.
And right at the end of it, you could see his head bounce off that mat when he was thrown down. And that is exactly what happened to Jeff Gaylord without thought of what it was going to do to Jeff Gaylord's future or anything else. These guys poured it to him, and they did what they wanted to. They put him on a stretcher and got him out of here, as Gaylord, a very determined, excellent athlete, wasn't content to let it go at that, though, because he's been chomping at the bit to get back into action. Gaylord was really lucky, Dave, I think is the word, that he was able to come out after 3 power bombs.
Oh, there was terrific concern of the fact, the condition of his neck and his back, and they used great care in taking Jeff out of here in the ambulance. But this week, he's been under doctor's care, and we do have an update on his situation.
Yeah, Dr. Lee Salmons was kind enough to kind of fill us in on what happened with Jeff, and if we can, let's take a listen to somebody who's better qualified than we are to give an update on Jeff Gaylord and the results of what happened, and see where he's at now. Have we got that?
Jeff Gaylord, that I think most of you, the fans of Jeff, recognize him immediately. I think all of you have known that last week he sustained quite an injury. And he's come to me, and I think he's much like the image on his shirt. He's raring to go, and the reason that I'm talking to you today is that Jeff needs to kind of cool it a little bit. He's sustained a rather serious injury. He's hurt his neck region. We've had him in a little bit of a brace. There's been some impingement of some of the nerves, but he's coming out. And I've treated quite a number of people. I'm certainly, you remember Jerry Lawler. Jerry's been in, and I've had to hold him like I'm trying to restrain you from not rushing back in before you're quite ready. And you've been up against a pretty tough group. I know they're really after you, and I think that you're going to come through with this. But I would really go into this thing, if you get back into it Monday, be careful. I know what they would like to do to you, but I want you to take care of your neck, take care of your whole body. Jerry has done this, and he's done extremely well. You're the second person I've seen today with one of the injuries. So let's try to keep you guys in good shape, and with your cooperation, I think we can do it.
Thank you, doctor, for your treatment and for your help and for your advice. But there's one thing you got to understand. I feel good now, Doc. I feel strong. I may not be, but I feel strong. And I'm mad. And I got a lot of desire. And sometimes that overcomes injury. And right now, my desire is to get a hold of Spike Huber in that ring. Whether I'm 100% or not, I guarantee you, I'm going to do the damage to him he did to me, but probably a little worse.
Well, there's the explanation of it, and he's going to be climbing right back in that ring again.
He's ready to go. He's booked in the match and set to go. And here's Sid Vicious right here.
Here comes Sid.
With a unified world title in hand.
You know, as I sit back here, Dave, and I'm sitting here, I'm watching old dude as we know him, and he tells me, he tells the people that desire is what's going to make him get back in that ring. Let me tell you something, boy. At this second, as I'm speaking, my buddy Doug has opened up the gym for old Spike. And Spike is sitting there, and he's pumping, he's sweating, and he is chomping at the bit for Monday night. For you, Gaylord, I think desire should be the definition for desire today for you is stupidity. Because what you took out here last week must have driven every bit of intelligence out of your goofy brain, you one-eyed slug. Now I want to make something simple to you morons. I'm sitting yesterday. I'm trying to enjoy a little bit of lunch. And some Memphian, some sick, retarded idiot comes up to me and he says, "Sid, why'd you hit Lawler the King?" I want you to know something, people. I am sick of everywhere I go, all I hear is Lawler. At the arenas, where I go, all around the world, all I hear from the people up in the stands are, "Lawler, Lawler." I'm sick of it, Lawler, and I want you to look at me. I want you to look into my eyes. You better realize something, fatso. I'm not avoiding you. Anywhere I can get my hands on you, I'm going to take advantage of it. And you, just like Gaylord, you fat slug, you will at my feet like the rest of my victims. You will be another symbol of one of my victories. Now listen, Lawler, you take the easy way out. Take it any way you can go. Realize something. It's never going to happen for you again.
Sid Vicious, unified world champion. I think you know exactly how he won that unified title. He says he's not running for Lawler, but he hasn't so far signed a match to wrestle the King for the unified title, except that one where the match never occurred.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in the future. Sid Vicious booked in a handicap match here today.
Yes, sir. Sid has agreed to take on two, not agreed. He wanted it that way, and of course, if he wants it that way, it's for one reason only, and that's just to show you what kind of a dominant individual that he is. As Sid climbs through the rope, we're ready for it. Handicap match.
Gibbons and Williams, Eddie Gibbons out in the corner, and Mr. Williams will be starting this one. Whoa, brick wall, that's not going to work. Sid Vicious, wait, whoa, not a good move there. This, boy, I would hate to be any 2 or 3 guys in there going against Sid Vicious. Let me tell you, this guy is awesome. He's huge. I'm a little over 6 feet tall, and he towers over me.
Hey, I'd forgotten how big he was.
Yeah.
You stand up beside him, and it is scary. Corey Williams down on the mat as Sid Vicious takes him in to pick him up. Looks like a power bomb, Dave, getting ready to happen. Gibbons on the outside as he just whipped him around in the air and hammered him down, and that's going to take care of Corey Williams. 1, 2, 3. Not much. He didn't even break a sweat.
No, that's true. And Corey's partner, Eddie Gibbons, never made an official appearance in the match, never had a chance. As Sid Vicious just immediately went to work, and now kicks him in the back as Eddie is there trying to help Corey Williams. After Sid Vicious hit him with a power bomb, Eddie Gibbons rolled out of the ring by Vicious, and look out. Watch it. Over here, very close to the desk.
Come on, Sid. Why don't you just leave him alone?
I'll bet you I did a point out here.
Sid Vicious working over Eddie Gibbons over here on the desk. The match is over. Sid Vicious won it in just seconds. And now he says making a point. Well, he's making a point. We're not that happy to see.
Beat up on him.
See, Lance, I am forced to come out here and do things like that. I don't want to. Believe me, I don't want to hurt these boys. I don't want to hurt you, Lawler. But it's going to come down to it. That's what you're going to get.
I don't want to hurt him. I don't want to do anything. But you do it with regularity.
I'm the world champion, and what I just did right there proves it. And make sure everyone knows that. Because if you don't know any of that, stay away from me.
I think you got a little twisted logic in there if you think that going up there and beating up on Corey Williams and then doing what you did to Eddie Gibbons out here proves you're a world champion. you really have a distorted opinion. We'll take time out and be back in a moment. Well, he may have kicked Corey Williams around and Eddie Gibbons around in there, but he's got coming up Monday night somebody that he's not going to kick around quite so easily.
You were right. The Native American, Tatanka.
Yeah, let's take a look. Tatanka in...
And his opponent from Pembroke, North Carolina, weighing 258 pounds, Tatanka!
Hey, the man who might be the new unified world champion come Monday night.
That's right, Tatanka. And Sid Vicious may have just beaten the brains out of Corey Williams and kicked Eddie Gibbons around, but I want to hear what he's got to say about doing the same thing to Tatanka. I don't believe your day's work is going to be so easy, Monday.
You know, Lance, when I took the World Heavyweight Championship belt, I took everything that comes with that, okay? Yep. Okay, old man, I'm ready for that. Okay, I'm going to ask you something, Vince McMahon. What are you doing? You send your little errand boy from the World Wrestling Federation, Tatanka, to the USWA. Your little errand boy. You're going to send him to try to take all this glory away from me. Well, let me let you know something, Tatanka. You, my friend, don't have a chance in hell. You, the World Wrestling Federation, anyone in the USWA, WCW, I've been there, and I've whooped them all. It's simple, Tatanka. You are looking at the man that rules the world. Shut up! Now come Friday, see, I know, Lawler, your greatest hobby, your favorite hobby of all time is softball, and you're just as bad at softball as you are at wrestling, aren't you? I've never in my life has picked up a softball bat. I've never played ball before, but I will beat you at any game you call out here. See, I got a good feeling, Lawler. You and these dumb fools like the Moondogs, Brian Christopher, you wouldn't even know what hand to put the glove on, would you? You're going to go out to Lawler's army, and you're going to recruit a few of those slugs. Probably one by the name of someone like Ricky Grisham. Ricky Grisham, you load your own slugs! Now, Lawler, I'm going to be in Martree, Arkansas tonight, and for the people there, it's just as the same as Nolan Ryan, the greatest pitcher that ever threw the ball, is coming to Martree to play a game. But tonight, Martree, my friends, is called wrestling, and the world's greatest wrestler of all time is going to be there. Laura, you said you're looking for me. Maybe tonight in Martree, you'll find just that much guts to put a showing up for yourself.
Well, there it is, Sid Vicious covering a large gamut of activities in there. I'm interested in all of them, but I'm really interested in that Tatanka meeting that he's going to be having Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum, baby.
Exactly right. Should be interesting. It will be interesting in Martree, Arkansas tonight. By the way, Corey Macklin's on vacation. He'll be back with us next week Tonight, Mark Tree, Arkansas, 8 o'clock at the high school. Lawler will be there. Sid Vicious also scheduled on the card. I'm not sure Jeff is going to be there or not. I know the doctor is wanting him to go slow. I know he's booked on the card Monday night, maybe tonight in Mark Tree, Arkansas. King Cobra will be there. Leatherface will be there. And I am told that Buddy Landell has agreed that he will be in Mark Tree, Arkansas tonight. Also coming up, Camden, Tennessee, Friday night, August 26th. This is a couple of weeks away for you folks. The Benton County Fair. Moondogs, Brian Christopher, Doug Gilbert, and Tommy Rich, all scheduled on the card. And then, coming up in Jonesboro, Arkansas. By the way, did that say Camden, Arkansas, or Camden, Tennessee? I think it said Tennessee. If it didn't, it is Camden, Tennessee. Jonesboro, Arkansas, Saturday night, August 27th, 8 o'clock at the Earl Bell Community Center. There will be a world title match, championship battle royal. You see some of the folks that are going to be there. Always a big night, and this one proves to be no exception, I'm sure. Saturday, August 27th, as wrestling returns to Jonesboro. Then, coming up in Russellville, Arkansas on Thursday, September 1st, 7:30 will be the time. Top USWA stars will be there. Following night, a Friday night, September 2nd, 8 o'clock in Crenshaw, Mississippi. This will be at the gym. The King will be there. The other folks that you see, pick up your tickets in advance. Save $1. It's always a big time in Crenshaw, Mississippi when the USWA comes to town, and it'll be there next on Friday, September 2nd. September 3rd, Saturday night, Blytheville, Arkansas, National Guard Armory. The USWA will be back. Brian Christopher, the King, Jerry Lawler, and the Moondogs are on the card. Blytheville, Arkansas, Saturday, September 3rd. Big action coming up around the territory. We urge you to be right there at ringside when it comes your way. We urge you to stay here with us. We're going to have more action in our ring in just a moment.
Yes, sir. We got PG-13 and Eliminators as our main event, and Mephisto and Dante is next in a moment.
Out here wandering around, but Mephisto and Dante, his team, climbing into the ring right now. We are just about set to go with tag team action here. Can we get the bell rung
you
first?
know we supposed to have them belts around our waist, man. Last week wasn't nothing but a sham, brother.
Those belts have been held up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Held up. They supposed to be held up in my closet. That's where they supposed to be at. But it's a conspiracy, man. Ain't nothing but a sham. We had them boys beat 1, 2, 3, and Eddie Marlin come out there talking about, oh, man.
Well, I tell you, there is a rematch scheduled for these guys, for Mephisto and Dante, and I know that Reggie B. Fine is not happy over the situation, but I don't think Eddie Marlin's probably happy over the situation either. He would rather have a set of tag team champions rather than having the belts held up. But the fact remains, you got to win the belts, and it would be nice if your team could win them fair and square if they do win them.
When you got Reggie B. Fine in your corner, brother, everything you do is fair and square, you understand? I don't cheat. I ain't never cheated a day in my life. I do everything by the book. I got a real good team right here, bro. We got a good chance of beating PG-13, and we're going to kill them punks next chance we get them. You watch what I tell you.
Well, I hear what you say, Reggie B. Fine. In the corner, never, okay, now always fair and square. Well, let's watch them in action here a little bit, as a matter of fact.
I got a good team, Brother Brown. I never lied to you before, have I? Never.
You've got a good team. Let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that.
Hey, Lance Russell, I want your opinion. I'll give it to you.
All right. Never. Man who never told a lie. Every lie detector within 300 miles is going to need new batteries after that.
Bell's going off. Big elbow. Dropping down.
And Mephisto working over his opponent here. Boy, these guys, they're tough. And they're bigger than... boot loading up. Yeah. The referee didn't see it because Reggie B. Fine was over distracting him over there. But we've seen him use that loaded boot before, and I'm sure that's what he did as he was hammering that boot on the mat. He gets the count of 3, and Mephisto and Dante get the win. Was it fair? You be the judge. Didn't appear to be that way to me, but they've got themselves a win here. The team of Mephisto and Dante, who are looking to be the USWA Tag Team Champions, but they're not there yet.
Why is he checking here, man? The man got a birth defect, man. Come on, brother, let's go.
Man's got a loaded boots, what he's got. We're going to take, yeah, we'll take a break, and we'll return right after this. 13 right here, ready for a match. Guys, you got some action coming up here against the Eliminators today.
Well, Dave Brown, that ain't really what's on my mind. Eliminators, we done beat you in every town, every spot, every ring all over the South. We done beat you. What's on my mind is there's something missing, and it's J.C. Ice's belt. And the reason my belt is missing because of that loaded boot of Mephisto and Dante's. But you know, this is Woodstock 94 week. That's right, Woodstock 94 week. The week of love, peace, and happiness. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to love giving you a piece of happiness, boys. You tell them, Wolf.
That's right, Dave. Something that PG's have worked real hard for. Probably at the top of our career right now with the belts. We had them here for a while. And now it's just all taken out from under us at once, and it ain't right. And it, like he said, it is all because of that loaded boot, and I felt it, and I know that that's not an ordinary boot and not a birth defect. So, boys, this week when you come down, you're going to have two guns that are real loaded, and we're going to get you, and we're going to get our belts back. Ain't that right, man?
Right, thank you, Dave.
All right. You guys headed to the ring right now. I know with the match coming up, but they're looking ahead to the title match with the titles at stake, going against Mephisto and Donnie. Here come the Eliminators. Rugged bunch coming into the area right now. And who's tagging along behind them there? None other than Reggie B. Fine here at ringside. Match to the expiration of time. We've been looking forward to this one.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think it's a little dangerous for JC and Wolfie to be out here talking about Mephisto and Dante and overlooking, standing the chance of overlooking this Eliminator team. You can get hurt overlooking these guys.
That's true, and the fact that they are not wrestling Mephisto and Dante next time for the championship belts, don't think these these guys held the tag titles for a long time themselves. They're not over the hill by any means. They are very dangerous. Even though this is a non-title match today, if they can get a victory over PG-13, boom, they're right there as contenders for the tag titles once again. That's what they're going to be looking for.
Saturn takes Wolfie D up high in the air, drops him down on that mat as Wolfie backs up to the corner. Now here is a situation where sometimes they get a little too bold. They get irritated at something happening like that. And instead of doing the wiser thing, and that is tagging the man that's spread, they want to stay in there, watch me get back at him. Look at Wolfie going underneath, and he did. He tagged him with that right hand, staggers Saturn back, takes him right down with a bulldog, and over the top comes Cronus as Wolfie D swinging that right hand, and he just got chopped hard right up on the left side of that face, Dave.
Oh, indeed. Man, look at this. Wow, what a move he just put on him there. The referee starts the count. It's a 2. Wolfie able to get the right shoulder up just in the nick of time.
And a double whip, and Wolfie catching those spinning back kicks is coming from each side. Oh, yeah, I'm impressed, Reggie, no doubt about that. Hey, we've never said anything. Look at that.
Boy.
Backward flip over, covering Wolfie. 1, and Wolfie makes it out of there at the count of 2.
Well, I'm a little surprised Wolfie was able to break out of that one. This Eliminator team is showing their power here today, and PG-13 looking past them. I almost said maybe looking past them, but they admit it. They were looking on down the road. That's always a dangerous situation when you got tough competition in an athletic contest. Wolfie D with a comeback here. Can he keep going? He's over to the corner. That's a great move right there. Get J.C. Ice into the action.
That's the best move he could have made. With all the wrestling moves that he knows, that one was the best he could have made. Let the fresh man get at it. As Reggie climbed up on the ring apron, J.C. pounded him. And now we've got
Reggie's in the ring. That's going to be a disqualification right there. Reggie B. Fine goes rolling into the ring. J.C. hammered him. Oh, here come Mephisto and Donnie, and look out. J.C. Ice, it's 5 against 2.
I heard that boot being loaded up in there, and Wolfie took it right into midsection as Reggie B. Fine and the Eliminators are really enjoying the help that they're getting in there because they've always had a... Whoa! Here comes Brian. Here comes Buddy Landell. So the official win will go to PG-13, and we're going to take time out and be back with the final.
Kind of action here today, and more of it coming up Monday night. Interesting situation with a contract. Doug Gilbert very upset to find out who Brian Christopher's partner is going to be come Monday night down at the Coliseum.
Well, Doug, of course, using all of that superior power that he had, and there was eliminating this. I won't wrestle him unless he puts his car up. I won't wrestle him unless he puts his hair up. He agreed, I don't know, it won't be in a single match, it'll be a tag match. Oh, he can't have these guys for a partner. But Buddy Landell says, I feel slightly hurt because he overlooked the Nature Boy.
Well, the Nature Boy is coming in, and then, of course, Doug with the scissors out here cutting Randy Hales.
Cut Randy Hales hair for crying out loud.
Well, let's check the whole thing here. 7:30 it starts. All-American Doug Basham will be going against Reggie B. Fine in the opener.
Yes, sir, in a return bounty match with a Spellbinder and Coco Beware going after 2,500.
Special challenge match. We got the Moondogs going against this very, very tough Eliminator team. That'll be an interesting match.
And with the belts held up, so that means that nobody goes in as champions. It's going to be the Great Mephisto and Dante going against PG-13.
And the doctor says, be careful, Jeff Gaylord. Jeff Gaylord says, desire. I'm ready to go. He's in there against Spike Huber in the revenge match.
And then the one that we were talking about, Car and Hair. It'll be Brian's car, which is now owned by Doug Gilbert, against Brian's hair. Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert against Brian Christopher and Nature Boy Buddy Landell.
But that's not all. The unified world title at stake. The Native American Tatanka will be coming in here to go against Sid Vicious in the big main event Monday night, 7:30 at the Coliseum.
I believe we got our time all out of here. Looking forward to next week. Hope we see you down there on Monday night. So, for Corey Macklin, who will be back next week, Dave Brown, Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of USWA Championship Wrestling.